Welcome to day 165 of the 300 movie challenge. Today we watched the highest grossing film of February 2008, which was Jumper. What the fuck did we see?
I don't know.
So, do you guys finally want to know the background information
Yes,
that led
please.
me
Yeah.
to watching this? Okay. So, I watched this movie in theaters when it came out
Why?
with the same friend which I watched Big Mama's House 2
Oh
with.
my god.
Oh.
That's why.
Is this person not your friend anymore?
I mean, we don't talk anymore, but this isn't the worst thing that has been done to me.
Ouch.
I just don't like this movie because it makes no fucking sense.
It makes no fucking
No.
sense. They don't explain
And I didn't
anything.
realize, now that I've watched Star Wars, I now know the significance of the fact that the main dude is Anakin Skywalker,
Yes.
and the main villain is Windu, aka Sam Jackson, with white paint on his head and his black beard.
Yeah, I don't know why that was a stylistic choice.
He
that
looks
was
so
taken.
fucking stupid. Oh my god.
It's like his chalk on his head or something.
No,
And
no,
it
it's like
disappoints me.
he doesn't have hair on his head, so they had to paint it on his head.
It has a nice fresco.
So weird.
It's a nice fresco on his head.
Oh my god. And like,
Well, I've watched this so you guys can talk about it first.
god.
There were a lot of decisions that the main character. Well, the main character is a jerk.
Yeah.
Just put that out there. And there are a lot of decisions that he made where you're just like, what is your thought process into making this?
Yeah.
Like, he was like, well, when you're 15, what's the first thing you think of? And it's like robbing a bank, and it's like, no, that
No?
would not be the first thing that I would think of.
I mean, honestly, like, that part, the beginning didn't bother me as much. Because, like, I don't know, I feel like maybe that is a little bit more believable. My problem was more like when he's older, but not just when he's older, but when he's like, especially when he starts interacting with the British dude. It's like both
Yeah,
of their
it's
characters just seem to
so-
just flip-flop randomly, and they just like, I'm just gonna do this now, and it's like, but why? There's no consistency for it at all.
And then him with the girl too.
Oh my god.
That was so quick.
Yep.
It,
He picked her up from her workplace. They went to Rome, and then they did the deed right then and there.
No,
When
wait,
in
didn't
Rome.
they do it? Did they do it before they went to Rome?
No,
No,
it was in Rome.
Was it?
that was, yeah.
Oh.
It was like 2 seconds after they got into the hotel room.
Oh.
And then we were like, wow, this is another awkward relationship with Hayden Christensen, but he's not the awkward one this
I mean,
time.
okay, he is still like kind of awkward, but like she's worse.
Yeah.
How does she function as a human?
No, like her acting is so weird. Like she moves her like face in weird ways, like a lot.
And then she looks like Selena Gomez.
Yes.
too.
No, wait. She looks like Selena Gomez and Anakin and fucking what's his name? Shit.
David.
Yes, him. His haircut makes him look like an older Justin Bieber.
So,
So it was
the
a weird
entire
experience.
time we never called them by whatever characters their names were and stuff.
They're just
They were
Anakin and
just, like-
Padme.
Anakin and Selena Gomez.
I guess the only like quote unquote good thing about the actor choices is that at least like they actually are the age they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can believe he's like later 20s, like sure, right? That works.
Yeah.
So that's something because I was like, actually, let me look. And that surprised me because then I compared the times and I was like, wait a minute, that means during like Attack of the Clones when Anakin's supposed to be like 19, Hayden Christensen was actually like 19 or 20. So
Oh.
that actually works pretty
They
well.
actually cast him correctly.
Yeah,
which is
he just couldn't act very
amazing.
well.
Good.
Yeah, that It's just, and then just the plot makes no fucking sense. You've no idea what's
Nope.
going on.
The plot and the whole mechanics behind jumpers. Okay. So there are these people who can jump wherever they want in, like, the world.
Which
Why
is-
does-
sounds like a pretty cool power.
Why does electricity, like, weaken them?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess the idea is that, like, it's something you have to, like, focus and concentrate to do, so if you're being shocked, you can't do that. Like, that's what I guessed, but it's still not.
But you could
Gone
also
through.
maybe be high on LSD and not be able to jump, right?
Well, maybe they didn't
Well-
show that, you know?
That too, couldn't you just use a regular taser instead of like whatever
These,
the
like,
heck they
weird
had?
whip
And why do you
things?
have to stab them with a knife?
Yeah. Well, okay,
People die.
the whole, like, evil group of people, like, is literally never explained. Like,
It's-
at all.
And it's
No.
that too for their level of technology and everything, like with the box and the electrical. Someone has to fund that, you know. And then it's like, well, how do they find these people? How do they know they exist and stuff? Like, do they just wait until they rob a bank? Because that's kind of
Yeah,
inefficient.
it's just, and like the whole thing. I mean, like, spoilers, but who cares? Like, with the mom apparently being part of the group that wants to kill them, even though she's the one who like broke him out of the Italian like jail, and yet like what? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
That whole plot thread makes no sense at all. They never explain it. They leave a bunch of shit hanging. Like, they never resolve anything with like any of his family issues. I mean, wait, does his dad die, or is that like
I have no freaking
they,
idea.
like, literally
have
make
no
it like
idea.
vague? I
It's
guess
just
it's
the fact
supposed
that
to be.
he's not like around afterward. We're supposed to presume he's
I
dead.
guess, but again, they never really explicitly show it, so it's just like, okay.
I knew he was like the abusive father and everything. So when they cut it to him like dying, I guess it was kind of like, why are we supposed to feel sad?
Yeah.
Why do you feel sad?
Yeah, I was like, why do you feel sad, Anakin?
And oh, and then the whole thing about like how he's all like, oh, you know, I'm different, I'm not gonna go bad, and then Samuel Jackson's like, they all go bad. So then when he like takes him out or whatever by dropping him in the water or whatever, he's like, see, I didn't, you know, go bad, I didn't feed you to the sharks. So instead he left him in the middle of the fucking desert where he's gonna die anyway. So
Oh,
stupid.
actually, speaking of which, for some of the action scenes, especially one particular action scene, you can't understand what's going on, and they go through like 50 different places and
Mhm.
such, and it's just really hard to keep track of what the heck the action is supposed to be portraying.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm tempted to think like in terms of our like award thing as like worst like visuals editing,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
there are a couple scenes that are kind of like either clever or interesting or like so weird they're funny
Mm.
visually. Like I did think that like the scene where like the him and the British guy like kind of like driving in I guess it's like Hong Kong, I don't know where it is, but the Chinese place, and like
Is
they're
it Chinese or
I
Japanese?
think it's Chinese because
Chinese.
he mentioned he said like what goodbye
Oh,
is in
yeah,
Chinese
that's
before
true.
that.
Right.
But and they're like jumping between the cars and stuff like that. That was kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then like when he's like he gets into like the I guess like Antarctica, and then just a fucking truck comes out of nowhere, like
Oh,
that.
that poor guy.
Yeah, and then he gets like
died.
sent to like fucking like Chechnya during like a war, and it's like okay, he just dies like run over by a tank. It's like what the fuck? It's just like it's so absurd. It's funny. So it's like I can't like hate this just because there are parts in it that are so dumb they're funny. But at
Yeah,
the same
the-
time, there's also a lot of it that's just bad. So
There are parts that are kind of hilarious because of how bad it is, but the other parts are like excruciatingly slow.
yeah, no, this movie is less than an hour and a half, but it feels like kind of long.
Yeah. Like when we got to the 42-minute mark, we were like,
It's only.
It's only been 42 minutes.
like an
I was
hour.
literally like, someone just kill me now.
Like, this is only 3 minutes longer than Cloverfield.
Oh boy.
It does not feel like it at all. It's like, yeah, it's. Oh, this is a. It's a mess. And sometimes it's a hilarious mess.
The
but-
writing is garbage.
The writing is horrible. Oh my
Yeah.
god, the dialogue is so like stiff or like plot.
Non-existent.
Yeah, or it's all just there for like plot convenience. There's like no actual character, and even the lines that they have them say oftentimes literally make no fucking sense why someone would say that. It's just, it's bad. Ugh.
And then all the women looked the same.
Oh yeah. No, that I was confused. Like when near the end, when like he goes to, like find his mother or whatever, and that girl like opens the door. I thought that was like the girlfriend at first.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
was
thought.
like,
too.
wait,
and then I was like,
huh?
wait, that's yeah, that's Bella, right?
It's Bella,
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart. But yeah, because they all have the same
Oh,
long, dark, straight hair.
And like
Yeah,
no,
Stewart
even beyond
Thunder.
that, like they have like really similar faces.
Yeah,
Ugh, it's really weird.
maybe the casting director had a weird fetish or something.
Oh my god.
Ugh, and then what was like one thing that like kind of bothered me, like, is that the very core idea of this, of like kind of some random dude who's like not doesn't go the hero route but has like superpowers and kind of what does he do with them, like I like that idea. And again, like I mentioned we mentioned last thing for Cloverfield that like this is I don't actually know if we mentioned this. I don't even remember. But anyway, I definitely was talking about how there is like a found footage film that's like one of my all-time favorites, and that film is Chronicle. And Chronicle is like basically the same idea. It's that there's 3 teenagers who just they're normal teenagers who fuck around, and they get like psychokinesis basically, and it's just them like for a lot of the movie it's just them doing shit, and like it works so much better because they're actually like fairly interesting characters. They're more believable characters. They have their own things they go through. It doesn't turn to this fucking quest to save whatever, and like so I kind of like the idea where like even though Tara, you were saying like it's kind of ridiculous, but I don't, even if they wanted to play up the ridiculousness of like 15-year-old, fuck it, I'm gonna rob a bank, like fine, like have them go through that. But again, like trying to shift it into this like heroic tale, it just feels like really forced.
Yeah.
So it just kind of sucks. 'Cause I'm like, well, I guess in terms of when this movie was made, I think Chronicle came out like in early 2012, so it's later. But yeah, if you want to see some sort of like random dudes with superpowers movie, go watch Chronicle. It's definitely better than this. It is found footage-y, so you may not like that aspect of it, but it's not like Cloverfield to that degree of literally it's all just like first-person camera. On
Yeah,
what's
there's gonna
happening,
be
but-
some third person in it.
Yeah. So and some of the usage of it is a bit more interesting, but yeah. And again, so it might not be for everybody. I really like it, but it's definitely better than this. So yeah. It's kind of similar actually, because like how last movie I was saying how like I love the idea, I just the fucking characters, and here it's like I wouldn't say I love the idea, but more like I like the idea, and they could do something really good with it, but they didn't.
No.
So yeah, is 2008 gonna be the year of good ideas with bad execution?
Oh my god, I hope not.
Well, the foreboding thunder in the background, if you guys hear that.
Oh, I do
that's
hear that. Jeez. Wow.
Uh-oh. Well, I guess that's a good segue into Truth Month.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
So Tara, your
it-
true story. Because we were like, what the
Just
hell are we
like-
gonna talk about? Like teleporting fish? Like what? But then they happen to teleport to a specific place. So
yes, one specific place that technically doesn't have to do with fish per se, but it has to do with water and stuff, so why not? So they teleported to the Colosseum, and stuff, and there's like this big, basically where the main guy meets the British guys in the bottommost level of the Colosseum that you can see from like the stands and stuff. So I remembered this fun fact that I learned, which was that at one point the Colosseum was flooded on purpose because the Romans wanted to like reenact this naval battle that happened, but they were like, but the Colosseum obviously doesn't have water in it and stuff, so they were like, oh, we'll just flood it. So they flooded it purposely and everything, and they actually conducted the naval battle and stuff, which is a pretty impressive feat because it's not to be able to flood something and be able to control it so that the water doesn't like break the structural integrity, but also doesn't like
Drown the
Drown.
stands.
yeah, drown the stands and everything. It's pretty interesting. It's quite a feat, except when you realize that basically all the actors that were in this naval battle were slaves, and a lot of them actually died in said thing in
As these things
reenacting the
usually
naval
go.
battle.
Yeah, as these
But-
things go.
I believe they also got like actual ships in there too
Jesus.
somehow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Come
I
on,
mean, the
America!
Colosseum's
America, step your
big.
game up.
Colosseum is big, but it's not that. It's probably not like a barge. It's probably like
Yeah.
those small
It
sailing
was
ships.
probably those small sailing ships, but that's still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Of which, I wish we were watching a movie about that instead.
Wasn't there like a gladiator movie that came out like early 2000s?
Yeah, we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
watch it.
Yeah. I think it actually
That's a
made a
sad
lot of
movie.
money, but it was like,
Second.
it was it was. I think it made like third or fourth like most of the year, but it was like in a month that like something else beat it. I think it wasn't that great though, so. But I don't know. It'd just be interesting.
It was sad.
Yeah.
We watched it at school.
Oh, I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. But yeah, instead we watched this.
Yeah, Skip
I
Jumper.
wonder if during that naval thing they sold fruit on a stick,
Fruit
God.
on a stick.
fish on a stick.
Oh, that's so sad.
That could have been the first fish sticks.
Oh.
Was that literally like the first fish sticks? Like someone just like took like a fish and like jammed it on the head of like a stick and was like, here.
That means that they could be very ancient because spears were a thing.
I know.
Yeah, I mean we saw in Castaway.
Wilson.
Not Wilson. Not the good boy. Is there anything else to talk about? I don't
What?
know.
Really?
Dumb movie. What's next?
I didn't think I'd ever see
And-
it again.
Not in a good way, dumb movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's next? Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
I mean, I've heard it's one of the better ones.
I have seen a sort of review of it that. Let's just say this might be weirder than you think it will be.
Weirder?
Yes.
Oh.
Whether or not it's a good kind of weird or not, we'll see.
Oh god. Oh no.
But yeah,
I missed 2007.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Come back 2007.
yeah. 2007 was like too good,
Yeah.
and then we get 2008. Wait, again, 2008 like has legitimately like really good stuff in it, but
We just have to get through a couple.
we have to get
It's
through.
right smack not in the beginning.
Yeah, pretty much the middle and the end. So yeah. Anyway, I
Bye.
guess we're done.
Yeah. Bye.
Wow.